Om Shanti. So, as part of the agenda, today's program, so we have one more very, very special, very extinguished guest amongst us, who is Professor B.J. Rao Garu, who is Vice-Chancellor of University of Hyderabad. I cordially invite Professor B.J. Rao Garu onto the stage. With a round of applause, we welcome Professor G. It's so happy time we are having you on in Shanti Sarovar today. Professor Rao Garu is, I don't know what I can say about his academic brilliance, but I can say he is very dear brother, very peaceful, very powerful, very balanced karma yogi who is practicing the spirituality, the core of it in his day-to-day life. Being a Vice-Chancellor of Hyderabad University, we can understand how tough that position is, but still he is very nicely, he is doing justice for that job, and he never leaves that smile on his face. That is what I observed all the time. So his connection with Brahma Kumaris is not new. Since maybe 3.5, 4 years now, he is visiting Brahma Kumaris Shanti Sarovar. One is for Brahma Kumaris purpose in different Shivratri programs, other programs. He was here and enjoyed this atmosphere and the meditation, everything he has enjoying, along with his Dharma Patni Garu, Hemavati Ramaswamy Garu, who is PhD from CCMB Hyderabad, and he is also very good in academic brilliance. She is also having, but at the same time very stable, very down to earth, we can say. Never we can see their position, their roles coming in between our interaction. We have one wing called education wing to bring the value-based education in day-to-day life. So he had attended that conference and he had shared his views as keynote address also in the inauguration of the Education Wing Conference in Gyan Sarovar Complex in Mount Abu. So especially he is here and we have requested him to share his experience with all of you so that will be a great motivation for you also. In this he will be sharing his experience being in Mount Abu and the works which Brahma Kumaris are doing. It's over to you, Brother B.J. Rao Garu.
Om Shanti. This is just a sharing session. This is not a speech. And this is not going to be long. It's a Sunday evening, so I don't want to keep it long. I have come here with my Dharma Patni, Hemavati Garu. Both of us have been following spiritual paths in our own ways. I have been leading an extremely active, hectic life. But I find ways to find peace. This is important. And this is do-it-yourself exercise. In that context, I have been visiting Brahma Kumaris here. I have also been visiting other such spiritual centers. And in this journey of ours, mine and my wife's, we decided we will visit Mount Abu, the place where this whole Brahma Kumari process started in India. Because you have to go to the main spot to understand what it is. This is important. Because the real Urja will be at the main center, main spot. And unless you visit the Urja center, you will not be part of it in a real way. You are also in that process. all of you who want this urja will end up going there. Don't worry about it. It will happen. So we went there last Saturday, Sunday we were there. We reached there on a Friday night. Entire Saturday and most of Sunday we were there because I had to be back for my mundane job. Because this world is important. When you want inner peace, you have to be in the world and do it. Not go away from the world and do. Be part of the world and do it. So it's in this business. I had to be here on Monday. Even if I wanted more time, it was not possible because the world wants us also. So I thought I should share some of my thoughts. This also reflects the thoughts that my wife Hema feels. And this place, Mount Abu, Brahmakumari's place, has very important details associated with it. Since I don't want to misquote the details, I thought I should just make some points. Generally, I don't make points, but in this case, information is important, accuracy. So you know that this whole process of Brahmakumari's internal transformation through Raja Yoga started in 1936, originally in Sindh of Pakistan. Initially, they went through a lot of hiccups because this was a new concept that you can actually transform yourself through Raja Yoga under the guidance of an enlightened person. That's the concept. But it is your own inner transformation. Nobody else will transform. You have to transform yourself. And this whole process matured into a huge participation by a lot of people there. And eventually, after partition, the process had to shift to India. Of course, finally India has to do it. So it came to Mount Abu in 1950. Yes. And the founder of this entire yajna, I would say, was by Dada Lekhraj ji. Full name, Lekhraj Khubchand Kriplani ji. If you study his biography, it is very interesting. I'm not touching that. How an inner transformation can bring such a large change. Single person. Initially. And then joined by lot of women power. That's the best part of this organization. Initially by Mateshwari Jagadamba ji. You are all familiar with this name, but I'm putting it in the context for myself. So they actually did lot of work globally from 1950 onwards. And you will realize that this activity, this process of inner transformation is happening globally in 135 or so countries, 137 countries. And in every part of the country in India, it is there in one form or the other. Prajapita Brahma, which is Lekhraj Khubchand Kriplani ji, is popularly known as Shiv Dada. Why Shiv? Because Shiv is the source of energy. And it's a point source. Source has to be a point. And that point is, when you symbolically, if you want to place it in the human body, it has to be, you know that. So that is the source. Ultimately, everything is controlled by energy, right? So essential point of his teaching is that you need to focus on the source of energy. Ultimately, you have to transcend the point also. That's just the beginning stage. You need to start somewhere. Start there. Ultimately, you have to transcend it, because energy is beyond description. And when you do that, you also do your inner transformation. This is the key thing. Inner transformation by some method. There should be a mechanism. It can't be left to total looseness. A mechanism was described called Raja Yoga. And Raja Yoga has certain processes, certain steps. That's very important for all of us to read and understand, because that becomes part of you. It is entirely you to do it in Raja Yoga. So he essentially emphasized on that. And we went to the hall where he used to meditate. Meditation hall is there. We also went to what is called Pandava Bhavan. There is also, there are very important places there, which are Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual Museum is there, where all the things are described pictorially. You actually see the pictures, very detailed pictures. You become aware of how things happened. There's a beautiful meditation center, and there is this is all on the mount. But when you come to the ground level, you have a huge complex there at the ground level of mount, which is where I think their Prajapita Brahma Kumari's Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya headquarters is located there. The sprawling campus, extremely well organized. I was very impressed by their solar panel complex. Several megawatts of energy is generated, and I think that energy self-sustains the whole process there. I have never seen such a solar complex anywhere in the world. I've seen small, panel systems, but this is extremely huge. And the way the whole township, it's a township actually, is set up, it says that the process is extremely orderly. People work not as employees. They work because they want to work there. And the process is not governed by any governing rules. There is a method, everybody follows it. Nobody asks you for any money there. I'm saying this because in other spiritual centers, a lot of money is asked, demanded. Therefore, I have to say it. In this place, nobody really solicits any funds or any resources, any money. You just go there, you feel at home there, and just be part of it. So there are very large number of activities happening. I'm actually, it's very mind-boggling. I'll just read out a list which I was so impressed about. There is Administrative Service Wing, Agriculture, Rural Development Wing, Art and Culture Wing, Business and Industry Wing, Education Wing, because of which I had gone there, IT Wing, Jurists Wing, Media Wing, Medical Wing, Politicians Service Wing, Religious Wing, Scientists and Engineers Wing, Security Services Wing, Shipping, Aviation and Tourism Wing, Social Service Wing. There is a unit called Spark where they do mind mapping. And Sports Wing, Transport and Travel Wing, Women Wing, Youth Wing, all these activities happen there. This is not a company, this is not a governmental organization. It happens because people want to do it and things happen. It's like a flower blooming. Nobody tells a flower how to bloom. To me, flower blooming was the right analogy when I described all this. All the activities happen at the right time. And you can watch this. If you have more time, you are blessed. You can actually watch all these and learn about it. And I also found that when we spend several thousands of crores of rupees in governmental organizations, things remain incomplete. In spite of so much of regulation, over-regulation, all that. But here is a project, I look at it as a project, where resources come there on their own. These are big resources. And people come there and work on their own. And orderly activity happens. And you get spiritually enlivened. So this is an organic process, very natural process. And this process depicts to me that there are other powers in the system, spiritual powers, other vibrations that actually make things happen. What you and me see in the regular world are the powers that we see, which are mostly societal creations, which requires regulation, over-regulation, corruption happens, and you need to have committees to inquire. All that mumbo-jumbo is a human activity. Whenever human activity happens volitionally because of mind game, all these problems happen. When things happen more spontaneously, more naturally, more organically, then things go divine way. And I believe Mount Abu, part of Brahma Kumaris, is a good reflection of this. And for you to experience, you have to go there, stay there, smell the wind there, taste the beautiful, simple food, talk to people, and you will interact with all sorts of unknown people, but you become bonded. And you actually get energized. Because in the regular world out there is no possibility of getting energized. There is only possibility of getting some mundane things, which may or may not stay with you, but the real energization, that is the requirement of your existence, will happen only in such places. Especially if you go with an open mind, just want to learn about it, just want to be part of it. Don't go with any agenda. Agenda is the problem, usually. Just be part of it. Beautiful garden is there, and every complex is very orderly, and just things keep happening. I don't want to describe the flower of the beauty of the flower. You have to just experience it. So it's a very unique model, and I believe this model is happening even in the other parts of the world to different scales. I would be very, very curious to visit Brahma Kumaris outside India and see how it is getting organized by non-Indians there. What is the level of their participations, and how do they reorient themselves towards this cause? I'm very curious, and I will certainly go and check it out. Because this model is very unique. I have not seen this model anywhere else. In any other spiritual activity also, I have not seen it. So, take your time, go there, spend some time, and don't go with any burden. Just go, just go and just feel part of it. And I would love to visit, both of us, myself and him. I would love to visit as many times as possible, because when you come back, you feel different. That is for sure. It is but natural. You have to feel different. And feeling different of that level is very important. Otherwise, the life is generally a rundown business for most of us. So it is good to just energize yourselves and just spend time in the meditation hall there. Feel the energy of Dadaji, Shiv Babaji, and bring that energy with you. The other unique part is this whole process is powered largely by Didis. And I believe there is something very strongly powerful about it, unlike other organizations. Brothers are also part of it, but they are more like back-end operation. Sorry, I'm using that word for a reason. So therefore, you will see that there is a whole process which is different, distinct, and working and reaching out to very large number of humanity globally. I'm still stunned about it because I look at many processes, many models. These are, because I run a university. To me, all these are different models of human activity. So I do look at many other management models, many other administrative models. This model I have not seen anywhere else. This model, this successful and this effortlessly done. That is all I have to say. Be part of the process. Thank you.
So you would like to visit that model? Huh? Yes. Because as he said, you cannot describe the beauty of the flower. You have to feel it. Yes? So thank you very much. That is a very beautiful presentation. And of course, as you said, many models are there, but they are there in your mind, which you will implement in future in your university as well as many different service fields. As you are part of many different fields, you got a direction now how you can bring all these things in day-to-day life. Thank you, and we will be happy that you will be visiting Shanti Sarovar and of course many times to Mount Abu also in future.
They have the education wing there, and the theme of the conference was educators are the architects of tomorrow. Educators, architects of tomorrow. It was a very profound topic. So I was invited, several other vice-chancellors were also invited. There were few industry leaders also and other prominent people. We expressed our views on how educators help transform the minds of youngsters in the society and how that transformation, inner transformation, can actually bring about new architecture in the system. It's a very important topic. It's like somebody is trying to change your mind, thereby designing an architect for future using the method of education. We are also in the part of what is called new education policy in the country. It is in that context this topic became very relevant. And I spoke, and my concluding statements of the lecture were 3 statements that I recapitulated from Gautam Buddha. And those 3 statements, which are extremely profound and it impacted my life, are the following. You become what you desire. You achieve what you dream. You create what you cherish. So those 3 lines essentially convey that you are the architect of what you want to do. This is the power of mind. And this is coming from Gautam Buddha. When it comes from Gautam Buddha, it must be deeply insightful. The problem is these statements look somewhat dry to us because we are disconnected from our inner power. So the purpose of Raja Yoga and what Shiv Dadaji told is to connect yourself internally to that power center. Then what Gautam Buddha says actually becomes the truth. This can happen through education. This can also happen outside the education. If we can do it through via education, that's fantastic. But it can happen even outside the education. Ramana Maharshi was not, he didn't have degrees. So it's a process that you need to go far. And education is certainly a way of doing it. And that was our intention in that meeting. I'm not talking about curriculum and degrees and certificates. It's a different process. Can we bring in this other process also in the curriculum system is the challenge. And we have to start doing it. Better late than never. Thank you.
So how to harness that mind power, how to tap that intelligence or the divine energy source is there. That is what the meditation and the spirituality is all about. As you say. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Everything started from here only. So the founder father, Brahma Baba, as you mentioned, the life story of Brahma Baba, it's in the book form also. If anyone interested, from the bookstore you can check that out. The name of the book is जीवन को पलटाने वाले अद्भुत जीवन कहानी, part 1 and part 2 in Hindi, Adidev in English. So that is a wonderful book which will give deep insights for our life also, how we can transform for the service of the self and the service of the humanity also. So on this note, I would request Professor Hemavati Ramaswamy Garu also onto the stage, Dharmapatni of B.J. Rao Garu, who also visited Mount Abu. And it is always divine that when the togetherness is there, both of them visits, that's a divine feeling. Yes? If one in one path and another one is another path. Yes. So I always admire her for her simplicity, both of them actually. But I always admire as a women power, woman energy. You are a great model for the society who looks very easy and very simple, but academic brilliance, lots of academic brilliance. She worked in the field of immunology, cell biology in abroad, worked in Cancer Research Institute, Reliance Life Sciences Private Limited, taught in Institute of Science in Mumbai, and now she is having a very beautiful life as a retired professional, but very busy. Yes. So we would request you also share few words of your experience in Mount Abu.
Shanti. What can I say? There are very few things that I can add. If I don't know if you all have seen a movie by name Om Shanti, which came out long time ago. I think it was Deepika Padukone's first movie. In that there is one sentence which somehow it stuck in my head, and it said that I can say in Hindi, अगर आपको कुछ चाहिए, दिल से चाहिए, तो कायनात उसे देने के लिए जुड़ जाएगा, पूरा कायनात जुड़ जाएगा. And I found that Brahma Kumari organization there also worked on this kind of a principle. And I don't know, like, I'm sure Yashraj ji must have heard this from Brahma Kumaris, but it's the same principle. And I was surprised, and I didn't know how they put in together so much infrastructure without taking any donations and things like that. And then where people just said very simply, very matter of fact way, that if we really desire something, somehow it will happen. That's what they kept saying. And that was one thing that stuck in me. And second thing is, there the gardens were so beautiful. The place was so clean, and people who worked there also were very, it felt like they were not really working, they were not doing a job. They do employ some people to do other things, but they also didn't seem like they were just doing a job there. I mean, here you can imagine, like in your house, a maid comes, she just does some job and runs away and things like that. Even however she is devoted or he is devoted, they'll just do their job and go. But there, even those people seem to be very devoted to what they were doing, essentially enjoying what they were doing. And one thing that really struck me was their food was very simple, very sattvic, and very tasty. And they used regular vegetables and things like that. So I was wondering how they managed it. Then the ladies there who were serving us, they said everything that is done in Brahma Kumari's organization is cooked there. They do it themselves. And what they said was, they do a 10 minutes meditation to create that energy and that love, and that goes into making of the food. She told me, you should also try doing that. Then when you're cooking, the food will become more tasty. That's what they kept saying. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm sure I can understand it. When you cook something with love, it will become more tasty. And that's what impressed me a lot, that ladies there who were serving us, the food was extremely simple, not very oily, and very sattvic, and very tasty, not very spicy and all that. It was very good. So I went to my department of cooking and eating. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. And it was a beautiful experience, which we are going to cherish for a long, long time to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemavati Garu. So we will see you more in Shanti Sarovar as well as in Mount Abu.